Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday, and welcome to Harmony's YouTube podcast show. Now, today's topic I would like to touch bases on. It's about grief and loss. Now, for those who cannot determine what the difference is, or as far as like on what level of grief and loss, because there's all kinds of different things that can trigger grief. It could be grief from somebody passing away. It could be grief from a divorce. It could be grief from uh, a relationship ending. It could be grief from, maybe, it could come from family, friends, any type of relationship that has came to an end. Um, it could be anything, job loss. Um, you do on your bills, you trying to make ends meet, things is just not working out. So let's dive into it. So the first question is, what triggers grief? Well, that's only for us individuals to determine what triggers it. Well, I can give you my perspective on what triggers grief. I can give an example. Let's say you had a passing in a family or a passing of a friend. Um, I would say the memories, the bond that y'all shared, that y'all had, things that y'all did together, places y'all went to, songs that y'all listened to, songs that y'all could relate to. Um, it could be a lot of things. We all been there. We all have lost somebody that was near and dear to us, and and a lot of times we tend to reflect on those things. You know, I don't know. Like I said, we all can relate, or even losing an animal. Let's say there was something very special about that animal that we loved very much. Um, I can share an experience. So when I was in my early 20s, I owned a cat. Her name was Fuzzy Ball, and to this day, I still miss her. Now the thing is that she didn't pass away. I had to give her up because I was in a bad position in my life back in the day. I ended up homeless, unfortunately, and I didn't want her to suffer just because I was suffering, so I let her go. And from time to time, I think about the good times that me and that cat had together. Um, the cat was very special because number one, I raised her when she was a baby. Um, I'm not sure what the rate is as far as like because I know they have cat years and they have the the age that we're familiar with. So the last time I had her, she was 3 years old, but in cat years she was an adult cat. So I would say if I had to pick um one of my most memorable moments from her is that there was this game that she invented it. I know that sounds weird, but she invented it. And so she could be, let's say she could be hiding around the corner, and let's say I move like this, and then she move like this, and then I move like this, and then she'll move like this, and then if I go closer, she'll go closer, and then she'll run and jump in my lap, and you know, uh, that's something that I miss from her. Um, but now one of the creepiest memories that I kind of miss of her is that so I used to live in a studio back in the day. And so when I would take a shower, and if I look up, she would somehow be on top of the door looking down. And at first it was kind of creepy, but then I'm like, well, maybe she's trying to understand what am I doing and why do I do this at this certain time of the day? Um, but yeah, I just wanted to give that as an example. Um, and my grief behind that is not as bad as it was when I had to let her go. It took some time to heal from it. I don't believe I'm completely healed from it. To be honest with you, I really don't think we completely heal from grief and loss. Maybe some of us do, some don't, but I think it all depends on the individual and how we can move forward from that. Because after I had to um, let her go, I didn't want an animal after her anytime soon. And it wasn't until after I had moved out here in Reno, I had got me three guinea pigs, and I still remember their names. So one was Chocolate Drop, the other one was Hershey Kisses, and the other one was Caramel. Caramel was the first one I got, and let's see, the second one, Chocolate Drop was the second one, and the third one was Hershey Kisses. Now, if you're wondering what happened to all three of them, well, um, the first one was being bullied by Hershey Kisses, and she passed away, and I was very upset. And now, what happened to Hershey Kisses? She unexpectedly died. All three of them were girls, by the way. And then, Chocolate Drop, I didn't know until it was too late. She blowed up with her own gas, and that's what killed her. Um, for a while, I couldn't see myself get adopting another animal because one of my favorite memorable moments was that when I come home from work, you could hear them. I guess you could say whining, squeaking, and and it was just weird, like coming home not hearing that. So to make a long story short, it wasn't until last year around this time that I decided to be a pet mom again. And I got me a rabbit. Her name is Miracle, and she just made 1 years old. I adopted her from the Humane Society, and now she's my baby, my world, my everything. She has a mind of her own. Um, if I can say a little about her, she is sassy. Every time I try to fix her cage very neatly, clean, somehow in some way she fix it the way how she want to fix it, and it'd be a disaster. So yeah, she's my heart, she's my joy, and I hope and pray that she'd be around as long as I want her to. But if the universe has other plans, then that will break my heart, and I'll be, oh man, it'll be tough, but all positive vibes, right? Okay, so next question. Okay, um, why do we grieve and how to determine what level of grief it is? So that kind of goes back to number one. But I want to add, sometimes some of us can't handle grief to the point where we can't, we feel like we can't move forward in life. We feel like everything around us is falling apart, because as life moves forward, it feels like we're just standing still. You got grief will drive us into depression. It could cause it could cause a person to be in a very dark place. And since I'm posting this video on YouTube, I don't want to say the word because I don't know if I'm gonna get flagged for it or not. So we are definitely not trying to do that. But I've seen, oh man, like I've seen people change, and I call it the bridge effect. The bridge effect means that we cross over that bridge and some of us don't make it back. And what I mean by don't make it back is like once we change, we're not that person anymore that everybody once knew. It's kind of like a part of you died with that situation or that animal or that person, place, or thing. And we just ain't been the same since. Now, I would like to use another example. Like when we was going through when we entered the year of 2019 and had to go through the pandemic, um, I can definitely say that the town that I live in have not been the same. Some of us have recovered from it. Some of us have not recovered from it. People has been have been different. Um, how can I explain what different looks like? Um, People are more selfish. People are more worried about their needs. People don't is not so helpful anymore. Um, we have less friends. Um, People are more aggressive. People is morely into they're morely into their phones instead of making friends. They are more concerned about them and them only. I've experienced that a lot. There's a lot of times I reflect on, so I guess you could say I grieve behind that too as well. Because a lot of times I reflect on how things used to be before COVID-19 came along and changed the world completely. I don't know for how long. I don't know if we're gonna fully recover from what we went through in COVID-19. Excuse me. Um, Even dating have not been the same. Relationships has not been the same. And I'm pretty sure some people can agree with me on that. And if not, it's okay. There's no harm done. Okay, so next question. What is the difference of coping and healing from grief? This is a really good question because you got some people, they cope with grief by using drugs and alcohol. They abuse substances. Um, they might steal. They might use other people. Or they trauma bond with other people. Now, if you're not familiar with what trauma bonding is you make friends with people just because y'all shared the same experience with each other. And that's all y'all talk about. Y'all really don't do anything with each other. Y'all don't go out, y'all don't have fun. This is what y'all do, y'all trauma bond. And a lot of us subconsciously don't realize that this is what we be doing on a day-to-day basis. And this is why some of our friendships don't last because this is what we do. We either call a friend or family member up, and this is what we talk about for hours and hours and hours and hours. And then finally, when that conversation is done, I go my way, they go their way, and that's all we know. Sometimes trauma bonding comes from grief that's happening either in a household or at work. Because let's say you find out that one coworker don't like another coworker, and then you make friends with that coworker because that's all y'all have in common is that you don't like that coworker or you don't like that boss. And so that's all y'all do is get together and y'all badmouth that coworker or that boss, which is not healthy. Not healthy at all. I do not recommend it. Um Now, healing is a total different situation. Healing is like, okay, you're being kind to yourself at difficult times. You're finding healthier ways to not having to deal with grief and loss. Like you might want to go hiking, you want to go exercising, um, or you talk to a therapist, or you entertain music or movies that's not affiliated with whatever it is you're grieving behind. You're finding your way out of the dark space that's in your mind. You can do meditation. You can find a support group and talk amongst other people. And it's like even though y'all sharing y'all experiences, but y'all are giving each other y'all are uplifting y'all spirits instead of either stuffing it or making yourself feel worse than how you feel about the situation, because grief can also cause traumatic feelings, and of course it is considered as a traumatic experience. It can cause PTSD and so forth. So um so so my advice is, when you're grieving, of course you're going to be in a different mindset. Try your best not to entertain it. Try your best um to find ways to heal from it, because once you heal from it, you're not running around in a circle, thinking about it, dealing with it with alcohol, dealing with it with drugs, dealing with it with trauma bonding. You're healing yourself, so that way you can have a better life and you can move forward. Amen. Amen. Okay, so the next question is, why do some people rather cope than heal from grief? Well, why would they rather cope than healing from it? Some people have told me that healing is more painful than coping with it. Maybe at some point it's true, but then the pain is not forever. Now, I think the reason why people would rather cope with it, because whatever coping mechanism that they're using um, for whatever grief they're going through is comfortable. See, us human beings like comfortability. We like to be comfortable because trying to step out of our comfort zone, it is uncomfortable. Same thing like eating right and working out. We want our favorite foods. We want X amount of whatever favorite foods that we like. But then we have to come to the conclusion that even though we like our favorite foods, but we're doing more damage to ourselves than helping, if that makes sense. We don't want to stop drinking. We don't want to stop smoking. We don't want to stop partying because it stimulates our mind. It makes us feel good, and we want to feel good. But then we have to also determine, is this a temporary feeling or is this an everlasting feeling? Me personally, I've been there too many times. But then 2 years, 5 years, 20 years go by, and you still feeling those same feelings because you're coping with it. You never healed from it. And what happens is when we try to have friends and relationships, when we're not healed, it does affect the relationship and friendship in a negative way. Um, so my advice is if you are grieving from something or someone or a person, place, or thing, get help. You'll be thanking yourself later. Because I know a couple individuals right now, they went through a situation in their life that caused them some grief. And instead of taking and instead of uh coping with it, they're doing positive things to heal from it. But what is your way of healing? I would like to know from the viewers, what is your way of healing instead of coping? And it could be anything. And if it's just one thing, if it's just religion, then so be it. Let that heal you. Let that help you be the best version of yourself. You know what I mean? Get it? Get it, got it good. Okay? Let's see. So the next question is, what can we learn from grief? What can we learn from it? Well, a lot of us may not want to hear this, but here we go. We can learn that we made a lot of mistakes. Perfect example, eating too much. And that's 100% of America and so forth. 6 months, we look in the mirror and we're like, what the hell happened? Oh, Lord, I've been through that so many times. Like, what happened? Or the summer get here and we can't wait to wear that cute outfit. And, you try to pull up them thighs. Like, what happened? Where did this come from? Well, that's what happens when you spend too much time just coping and not healing. It all ties into you got to be kind with yourself. You got to be kind with yourself because the way how you deal with grief and loss is going to show. And you may not like how it's going to show. I mean, I've seen some pictures of myself. This is me, self reflecting. I've seen pictures of myself where, I'm glowing, shining, I dress better. But then when the grief hit and I dealt with it too long, and I look at the pictures from before the grief, I'm like, what happened? What happened? And now my grief is worse than what it is. Now I'm grieving because I look different. We have to, how would you say? How would you say that? As one of my coworkers would say, stay locked in. Stay locked in. Stay locked in. Um, yeah, that's the best answer I could give. Is that we make some terrible mistakes when we're grieving. So as soon as grief happens, get some help. Surround yourself with the right people. Sometimes they may tell you something you don't want to hear, but they telling you this because they trying to help you. That's it. That's all. And it's only up to you to determine um if it's help or if they're beating you down lower than where you at. You get me? All right, moving forward. If we are grieving and others around us is grieving, how can we still be a positive outcome for each other? Okay. Wait, let me read that question again. Cause I need y'all to hear this. I need y'all to take this video, the message in this video into consideration. If we are grieving and others around us is grieving, how can we still be a positive outcome for each other? That's easy. Y'all gotta uplift each other's spirits. You gotta help each other keep going, keep moving forward with time. Sometimes you do need to pause. Sometimes you do need a break. Sometimes solitude is a good thing, but don't stay in it too long. Now, how can we determine if we're staying in solitude too long? How do we determine if we pause too long? Well, because as time flies, you're entertaining negative things. You're entertaining negative things because you already convinced yourself, oh, this feels good. This feels better. I don't have to think about it. But a lot of times you have to talk about it to heal from it. But then sometimes you can talk about it too long and you're not healing from it. That's why it's always good to surround yourself with good people. Because sometimes you have to hear that advice what is given. Like I said at the time, it may not sound too nice because your head is foggy, but at the end of the day, you're important. You got to live, got to eat, and you got dreams, and you got bigger fish to fry. Don't ever neglect your dreams because you're grieving. A lot of times, most of the time, your dreams can help you heal because as time go on, you you think less of what you were grieving about and you're more focused on achieving your goal, your dreams. Because the worst thing you don't want to do is regret. Regret not achieving your goal, achieving your dreams, or what have you. We do not want to do that to ourselves. Somebody once told me, think of yourself 6 months from now, and the version of you 6 months from now is going to be happy. It's going to be joyful because you didn't give up on you. Don't worry about what anybody thinks, how they feel. This is your life. You were born by yourself and you're going to leave this earth by yourself. Stop seeking validation. You need to seek validation within yourself, and that's what's going to help you. So now I want to conclude this video with a poem. This poem is from my poetry book called Deep Blue Ocean. If you would like to purchase a copy, I will put my information in the comment section. Well, actually, I have a website, and you can contact me. That website has my phone number and it has my email address, and we can talk about it there some more. So this second poem that I have that I'm reading from Deep Blue Ocean which is an independent published book. I published it through Amazon, but I have physical copies with me. So if you feel some type of way or ordering from Amazon, you can just order it from me. Okay? Do your thing, do your thing. All right, so here it goes. A spirit in the sky. Long ago, I felt love in the air. Why should I hide my love? It is harder than I can bear. Dreamed of one day meeting you halfway, but I kept my feelings at bay. Then one day, a part of me died and went to an unknown place. So I no longer keep my heart locked in a plastic case. There is a spirit in the sky, reminds me of a flower blowing freely in the air, without no rules, no boundaries. All you got to believe in is being carefree. Just be carefree. Now, the name of that poem again is called A Spirit in the Sky. Now, that's another poem that's the message is be carefree, stop seeking validation from people, do you, be you, just do you, do your thing. Because what causes low self-esteem, well, one of the things, and that might be my next topic I'm gonna touch bases on, is low self-esteem. What causes low self-esteem is that we keep looking for validation in other people instead of looking for it in ourselves. Oh my God, I'm gonna end up rambling about this because it done touched the nerve. But I'm gonna save that for the next episode, next Sunday. And I want to conclude this with y'all got my blessing. Everybody's going through something. We need to be kind to each other by all means. Pray for each other. Stop criticizing each other. We need to spread more positivity in this life and amongst each other. Because positivity heals, negativity kills. Remember that. From yours truly, Harmony Love, singer, songwriter, poet, musician, and author, and so forth, so forth, so forth. And love and light, y'all.
And my love will always be appreciated.